Welcome back to the Homestretch podcast. Today's episode is going back to my roots, all about the house buying process, sort of. So, I want to talk a little bit about things that I didn't expect when I first moved in. And if you're going through the house buying process, I know that the only thing on your mind right now is getting the keys and moving in. But I will tell you that when you do move in, there's a lot of things that you come to realize as a first time buyer. Some of those is emotional, or things like your spending habits change quite a lot. I think because you actually have a mortgage, it's a little bit more serious. Like, you really have to make sure that you make those repayments. Otherwise, your house could be repossessed, and it's not fun and it's not a vibe. So things do get a bit more serious when you do move into your first home. And there's a few other things as well, like obviously you spend so much time getting the keys to this house that you've probably been under a lot of stress. And yeah, it's been a lot to handle. But when you get your keys, the stress does go away. You don't have to worry about solicitors, and you don't have to worry about chasing someone here or someone there, or seeing if that delay is still a delay. Like, that stress does disappear straight away. Then you've got other stresses like making the house your home, buying furniture, making sure it's kept clean. When you have guests round, you're like doing everything you can to make it so spotless to make it look like no one's lived there. There's just loads of little things, like some are good, but some are things to be a little bit mindful of. So no matter where you are on your house buying journey right now, hopefully I can give you a little bit of insight as to what it's like actually being a first time homeowner, and showing you that it's not all scary, but there is some things just to be a bit mindful of. And I do think as well, people really romanticize like your first home, or just like buying a house in general, and making all the aesthetics so clean and super, just like making it look so perfect and making it look like things get done the same day, like in terms of, I don't know, decorating a room or painting a room. And people just make out like it's easy, and it is not. When I say easiness, it will always depend on what that means to you. But honestly, I'm telling you now, when you start painting, it's going to take up a lot of your time. That's all I've got to say. So just be prepared for that. And not everything gets done in a week or a couple of days. Things seriously take time, and you have to make it yours in your own time and in your own progress, because these things cost money, they cost time. If you work a really demanding job, a full-time job, that's going to have an effect. You might just have the weekends and the evenings to play with. And then money, like, you've just bought your first house. Your deposit's gone now. You probably don't have a lot of money sitting in the bank right now to be spending on things to do to the house. So just be prepared that as things come and go, just try and do things in little bits and don't overwhelm yourself and doing loads in one go. So yeah, anyways, diving into today's episode, the first kind of topic I wanted to talk about was the sort of emotional surprises that you get when you kind of get the keys and you move into your first home. Because I will say, when completion day comes around, you've obviously been waiting a long time for these keys, maybe, potentially, and like I said before, gone through a lot of stress. So you kind of have like an emotional come down, if that is a thing. But you've geared up so much for this one day, and it happens, and it's kind of like, I can breathe. Like, I can breathe again. It doesn't feel normal for your brain to be this calm, because for the past like 6 months, you've been in fight or flight mode every day, not knowing if you're going to have this house or not knowing if you're going to be making memories in this house that you love. So it is a weird thing to go from being in that high kind of energy state quite a lot to then being like, I don't know, it's all completed and it's all done and you've got the keys and it's done now. Like, that journey's over. And it's like, wait a second, where's the stress? Wait, where's the annoyance? And where's this frustration? And this just doesn't feel normal. So you do get a feeling of obviously being overwhelmingly grateful. Like, some people's process doesn't go through at all, and they get right to the end and then something happens. And I feel so sorry for anyone that's ever been through that, because I could not imagine going through the 6.5 months worth of delays and processes that we went through to then have the house not ours, and then spending all that money on solicitor fees. This is the thing, like, you still have to pay that money towards your solicitors whether or not you get the house or not. So that's a tough pill to swallow, because you've not only just wasted your time, you've also wasted money. So it's kind of like a double knockout. It's like, kick me while I'm down. Haven't got the house, I haven't got the money now, and haven't got my time back. So I do feel so sorry for everyone that has gone through that or is going through it currently. There's not a lot I can say that's going to help the situation other than whatever is meant for you will find you and your right house will come along. You just have to be patient for it. But if you are coming up to completion and everything's working fine and you're literally about to complete, there is a sense of like relief, but also weird calmness. It's really hard to explain, and you will understand it when you go through it, especially when you walk into the house for the first time and it's like pure empty and it's really echoey and it's like, it's a really odd feeling, but it's yours, and it's yours now to make it your home and to put your spin on it and to make it homely and loving and just so nice. So there is a lot of exciting things along the way, but I just wanted to touch a little bit on that emotional feeling that you get, because it is a sort of nice feeling because obviously you've got the keys and you know it's yours, but it's also kind of like your body doesn't know how to, it needs to kind of get used to the feeling basically that you're not in stress 24/7. And one thing that I really, really want you to think about is you don't have to make it perfect straight away, okay? Unless you're moving into a new build that has the newest doors, like a fresh lick of paint and brand new bathrooms that's never been touched and has never been flushed before, your house will have work to do. There will be work to do on that house, and doesn't have to be perfect straight away, and that's not what life's all about. And if you see videos of people online that look like they decorate a room in 2 seconds, it's not reality. It's really not. Things take time, things take money. We paint rooms once every 4 months, that's it, and we've only painted the kitchen, the living room and our bedroom. Nothing else has been painted, and we still need to do the hallway, we still need to do the landing, we still need to do a few other bedrooms. Like that will come in time, but we've been in the house for like nearly a year now, so that's fine. Like things will take their time, and that's okay. So don't rush it. The last thing you want to do is rush it, because then you might make mistakes and you might do something that you don't actually like. So just take your time with it. That's the best advice I can give for anyone that is just about to complete right now. The next point that I wanted to touch on was that your money habits, like spending habits, will change quite dramatically. So obviously throughout this whole process, you're not getting used to the mortgage money that's coming out your account every month. And when you get your keys, you will be getting a pretty large payment that you have to pay towards your mortgage for the first time. Now, this is usually higher than the other months afterwards because you're basically paying in arrears. As an example, we moved in middle of February. I think it was February the 16th or something like that. And then the mortgage payment that came out on the 1st of March was the whole of March's payment and half of February. So we're always a month ahead, but because we moved in February, that got added to the payment too. So we actually paid like a month's worth of our mortgage plus a half of the monthly mortgage. So it was a lot of money. And when you first move into your house, you need to account for that because that can catch people out. I've heard a few people like that didn't know about that. And yeah, I think it's just something to be aware of. If you are saving right now for a mortgage or for a house, just be aware that your first mortgage payment will be more expensive. So don't go splurring all your money on things to make the house look nice. Put it towards your mortgage and your bills because you're going to need it. And a lot of people do say as well, the first year is always the hardest when it comes to getting used to your payments, because you've got to think like you're now probably paying out quite a lot because your interest is probably a bit higher and you might have done 30-year mortgage, 25 years, 35 years, I don't know. But the interest might be quite high on it and it's the first time you're paying money back to the bank. So it's a lot of money that we're paying back. And they do say that the first year is the hardest because you're getting used to paying that amount of money, including like your bills, and then also just getting back into like your usual lifestyle, but now with a mortgage and with the house. So your spending habits will change. You will think slightly different about going out for food all the time when you can just cook a nice meal at home for a quarter of the price. And another thing that you'll notice is like how expensive bills and stuff are. I used to live with my dad and I used to give him a bit of money towards rent. My rent is his house, but I gave him like rent money towards me living there, as well as like that money towards like bills for the house too. But you don't realize how expensive bills can actually be when you start adding things up. So it's not fun, but you do eventually get used to it. So we've been in the house for nearly a year now, and those mortgage repayments and the bills that are coming out, that's all fine. So we're kind of getting in the groove now. So now when we do remortgage, I think it's remortgaging the house. Basically, we got a 2-year fixed mortgage. So in about 6 months' time, we're going to speak to our mortgage advisor and see like has the rates dropped, which they have. So hopefully we're not going to be paying back as much as we are now. But yeah, that should save us a bit of money. But yeah, we'll be able to relook at that literally in 6 months' time, which is quite nice. So you do kind of get into a flow. So don't worry if it's feeling very intense in the first few months. That is very normal because you're probably paying out stuff with furniture. Your first food shop is usually quite big, and you're wanting to get the basic stuff for the house because you want to make it nice for people. You want to host your family and friends and make it nice for you. Again, that costs time and that costs money. So your spending habits definitely do change. You do think of things in like as a bigger picture, and that is very normal. So the third point I wanted to touch on was about creating a home or spaces within your home of peace, and not just focus on like the Pinterest aesthetic vibes that you see all over social media, because I feel like we are blasted so much with the perfect looking corner or the perfect looking house or the perfect looking living room or the perfect cushions for Christmas time and changing everything in the house to Christmas stuff around Christmas. Things like that just isn't normal for like a normal person to do. So I just think don't overwhelm yourself with the fact that you feel like you have to fit into what everyone else is doing. These people probably have a lot of spare cash on them, and they probably get paid or get the stuff for free to actually do that sort of stuff. So don't compare your life or your house with theirs. It's more of like creating a space for you that's peaceful and tranquil and makes you feel calm. And you can do that with stuff on the cheap, like lighting, or I don't know, incense sticks, which I love, or mood lighting, or maybe Himalayan salt lamp, or maybe an oil diffuser. I love those. I love an oil diffuser, and even candles. Candles set the vibe so much in a house. Like if I put a few candles on and my friends come around, they're like, oh, it's so cozy in here. And I'm like, there's literally just candles on. That is it. So there's small little changes that you can do to actually up level your home, which I love. And yeah, just you want it to be somewhere that you wake up and you're like, oh, I love this house so much. You want to feel like you don't want to leave. You want to stay in the house. You want to enjoy the mortgage that you're paying because you're paying a lot of money. So it's kind of like, well, why would I go out when I can just enjoy my mortgage at home? So yeah, I do feel like your space is about you and how you feel. I mean, some people love colors and stuff. So if you want to plaster your house full of colors, then do that. But just don't feel like you need to do it all straight away and spend all this money just to make it look perfect, because that's not what it's about. It's about the process of making your house a home in time. So don't rush things because there's no need to. The fourth point that I would like to touch on is that when you have your own home, there is now a bit of more of a stress hanging over you for hosting more things. So whether that's like Galentine's or Christmas stuff, or just having like barbecues or birthdays and things like that, like you obviously have your new home and you want to host. Like, I mean, I love hosting and so does Nathan, and Nathan is an amazing cook. But the only thing is there's more preparation when it comes to hosting. So cleaning your house. I am a clean freak. I'm a bit cluttery. I will say that like I do have stuff everywhere, even though our house is fairly uncluttered, but I do have random stuff. Like I think under the living room coffee table, I'm pretty sure I've got my yoga mat there and my yoga block. And then I've also got, I don't know, my headphones or my mic or something underneath at the coffee table. So like my stuff is just generally everywhere. But when you start hosting, you have this need to make everything perfect, and cleaning your house to a T. I clean my house for like 6 or 7 hours when we're hosting people the next day, even if it's just my sister staying. I'm like cleaning all the bathrooms, I'm hoovering and like mopping the floor, and I'm just like really deep cleaning the house because that's just how I like it, and I want my house to feel like a good representation of me. It's kind of bad really, because I should be doing that more often, not just when people come to the house. So I think I need to get a bit better at actually deep cleaning the house, not just when people are here, like doing it because I want to. But we do generally like hoover often. We obviously change our bed sheets. We kind of wipe down the sides, but we don't deep clean. Like we don't deep clean the oven that often, or the washing machine and stuff like that. So those are just things on my list that I really need to start doing. And I might even hold myself a bit more accountable and do like some videos and vlogs of it, because I feel like that might push me to do it more often, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that's definitely something on the list that I need to like get to work with basically. But yeah, definitely hosting is something that you got to be maybe a little bit prepared for if you've got like family and friends that want to come see you and stuff. So everyone's going to be different again, whether you like cleaning or not. But I like my home to be tranquil and clean and nice and tidy when guests come round, because all I want is for people to feel at home. I want people to feel like they can just relax and chill and maybe have a glass of wine or two, because why not? But all in all, I will just leave you with this point that when you do have your own home, it is such an amazing feeling. And you do feel very accomplished, I would say is the word I would use. It's taught me a lot about what I want from my home with Nathan, and a lot of that is calmness, it's peacefulness, it's warm, inviting energy and positivity. Like we write a message on our whiteboard every single day now of like a nice positive message. Maybe it's an affirmation, maybe it's a nice message to each other. And yeah, it's just so nice to read those. Like if one of us has put something on there, like for example, I hit 10k followers on TikTok the other day, which I can't believe that's been a goal of mine for so long. So I'm so like pleased and happy with that. But Nathan wrote on their 10k TikTok party tonight, be ready at 7 o'clock or whatever. And that was so nice. And he was just so thoughtful, like got us some asti, made like 10k out of millionaire shortbread pieces. It was just so cute. And it's things like that, you're creating memories in your home that you're going to remember forever. So I really want to start documenting everything that we're doing in the house. I feel like I'm doing little bits here and there, but I need to be more on it. I need to be more like, this is what we're doing to upgrade the living room. This is how we're going to do out the shed, because the shed I'm going to make into my podcast studio, where I'm probably going to keep the same color blue, but I'm actually going to have more of a seated area. Because if you saw my podcast setup right now, you would laugh at me. I've literally got my mic on a shoebox to lift it up so I'm not talking down here. And I've got my laptop there just to connect my speaker into the platform that I use on there. And then my camera's there too. But I have to sit cross-legged because I need my coffee table brought up here. So realistically, I need like new equipment in terms of putting my mic, attach it to a table so it's here instead of down here, so I can actually sit with my legs down. There's a lot that I need to do. So I need to like actually document the process too, because I love looking back at things. And that is one thing that I will say to you, is document everything. Even if you think just taking videos around your house feels silly or stupid, it's not, because when you look back at them and you see how much it's changed since you've moved in, it's so nice. And it's just, yeah, it's a wonderful thing to look back on. It really is. And you will be really grateful for those memories, you know, in 10 years time. So take loads of videos, take loads of pictures, and just enjoy your space and making it your home. That wraps up today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed that one. It was a little bit more house related because I feel like I'm getting in the house groove again a little bit. I needed like a little house chat with you today. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you next time.